In this video I'm going to talk about one of the most overlooked components and pieces and factors in the equation of the overall healing process. Now, most of the time our immediate response, our program response, our intuitive response is, I have this problem, I need to take something, a drug, a medicine, an herb, or some sort of treatment to get rid of it, and then that's usually where the conversation stops. So in this video I'm going to suggest that there's actually a more important piece that needs to be in this whole process. And that piece is understanding and knowledge and wisdom. Instead of just saying, I have this problem, how can I get rid of it? We need to say, why do I have this problem? What are the conditions that I can influence or change or control that will cause this to no longer rise to the surface? Now, obviously, getting rid of the problem is very important. Obviously, finding a solution for a problem is very important. And we also need to understand why, because if this is a chronic thing, chronic situation, chronic problem, something that just keeps coming up repeatedly and habitually, we need to understand why it's happening. So the way this is generally accomplished is with simply asking and focusing on it and being disciplined and determined to find out and understand why this is happening. And this will take, some meditative work, some intuitive work, and some whole process of going within, whether that's meditation, or some sort of prayer, or some sort of quiet, reflective technique or exercise, whatever it is that's appropriate for you and your situation. And oftentimes, when we really get to the bottom of a problem, we can understand that a physical problem, a physical symptom, a physical manifestation can actually have its roots in the mental, emotional, spiritual realm, so that we can understand the actual connection between our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, and our emotions, and then our body, our health, and the vitality and the energy that we manifest on a day-to-day basis. And when we reach the real pinnacle or crux of the situation, oftentimes it'll happen that we'll be in a meditative state of mind, and we'll reflect back to a moment of what's called imprinting, or when we take on a certain belief or take on a certain idea about reality, or we experience some sort of trauma or intense emotional experience. So for me personally, in a lot of things that I've overcome and let go, I've had the experience of being there quiet, sitting, meditating, and just reflecting on the issue, inquiring about the issue, and then having an experience, and then going all the way back to the very first time when that experience, that emotion, that thought was imprinted. Maybe it was something during childhood, something during even, in an infant state when we aren't really that conscious. It can go all the way back and go very far back. Or it can be something, from our teenage years, or it could even be something from our adult life, depending on the situation. So, of course, finding a solution for the problem is an important step, but I think it's ill-founded to always just look for the Band-Aid without the actual understanding. And I think to be truly holistic and to experience true healing, we need to understand the causes and conditions that are giving rise to that problem and to that issue and to that imbalance. And there's a benefit in there in that once we have that wisdom, once we have that understanding, and we see it in ourselves and we're able to overcome it and let go of it, then when we meet other people who have this similar issue, we can offer them actual experience, actual wisdom, actual insight, and actual useful information that has actually yielded results for us. Not something we read in a book, not something we read online or we heard somewhere and it sounds good, but something that we actually dug out from the inside of our mind, from the inside of our consciousness, a jewel of wisdom, a diamond, whatever you want to call it. Many traditions have many different ways of putting it, but we find that, we refine it, and we cultivate it, and we purify it, and then it's something that's actually useful and tangible, not only for us, but for other people. And ultimately, it's very important to be able to have things to offer other people and to be able to help other people, not just yourself. Because I think when we're healing certain issues and certain conditions, it's not just for ourselves, it's for other people. It's for other people that we're going to interact with and that we will interact with, and that may inevitably be attracted to us after we actually overcome the situation, the issue, the imbalance, whatever it might be. So that's one of the most overlooked and left out aspects of the healing equation, of the healing process. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk